I went and bought the cheapest GU that I could find on Marketplace, and I would be lying if I said I didn't regret it.
Wasn't like that last time.
The more I look, the more problems I find on this thing and work for me to do. But the good news is a few of the big ticket items like the engine, the coil chassis, and all the drive lines are in good nick. Oh my God! To fix the rest, I've gone and done something in true Jesse fashion. Have a look at this. I've actually bought myself another project car. It's just another Patrol. My plan is to build the GU that I reckon Nissan should have sold from the factory. It's going to be coil carb. It's going to have a late model TD42. It's going to have a Series 4 front end. And the bit I'm really keen for, it's going to have a Series 4 interior in it as well. To do that, I'm going to have to piece 3 cars together to make the GU that I reckon Nissan should have sold from the factory. But Series 4 front ends are expensive to buy. If you're a Nissan person, you know that you're up for between 2 and 3 grand. I bought this car for $2,500. Now, I was going to spend that just on panels for the front, and I'm quite confident that with all the other bits and pieces I can sell, front diff, fuel tank, big mirrors, a set of seats, there's heaps of little bits and pieces between these 2 cars that I can sell to maybe even get my money back for this and spend on an interior. For some of you Nissan people, you mightn't understand what I'm saying by Series 4 front end. Obviously, it's the whole front clip, it's the guards, the bonnets, the panel behind there. The main difference is the headlights and the grille. As you can see, these are one piece and it actually comes out a little bit further. I think it just looks a bit more modern and new, and to modernize the rest, we're gonna put the interior out of a wagon in there. It's nice and black and silver, heaps more modern, and it will look pretty flash. Yeah, I do have a lot of work ahead for me, but I'm a sucker for punishment. The build on the GU has begun. As you can see, I've got a wild strap set up here on the back. What I'm about to do is I'm about to go and lift the tray off. I'm pretty strapped for time in this build, so I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna take this thing to a panel beater to get a couple of the dents fixed, but before I do that, I've got to fully strip it. So I'm gonna take out the back, lift the tray off. As everyone knows, there's always one wire you forget. It's one of the wires on the work lights on the back. Just forgot this wire, so I'll undo that and we'll lift the right off. Look at all the sticks and everything stuck in there, my gosh. Have a look at this chassis, 350,000 kilometers of torture, and yeah, the poor thing. It's not in too bad nick really, but have a look at this. Someone's tried to do a bit of a coating before. You can tell by all this tar coating on the back of the cab, but look at this, there's just thick layers of, and it's all chipping off. Have a look at the GU now, she's getting quite bare. All the front's off, got the old, he had some sliders and then like the weird factory setup on there still. That's all off. The winch was actually on the cradle. Bull bar's off. But have a look at all the stuff under this scuff panel. My gosh. It is everywhere. So before, I do have to change the doors before I take it to the panel beater, but before I take the doors off, I'm actually going to take it out into the grass and give it all a good bit of a gurney, and then I'll continue on taking those doors off. Might just sit the other doors on for transport and do a few things like that, but that big dent in the roof is the worst bit. It's going to get a bit of a helping hand with them because it'll take me a week and it'll take my mate Rowan probably a day to speed up the process, and yeah, she's getting there. I brought the big GU down to my mate Rohan's in Capalaba, and he's going to get this thing straight. He's going to panel beat it out and get it in primer for me so I can lay a fresh coat of Raptor. He's already been around with his texture, nearly ran out of ink, but yeah. What do you reckon? You still be able to get the job done for me?
Yeah, 3 days. That's my timeline.
3 days? You guys love a challenge here, don't you?
Yeah, we love a challenge. The roof is pretty badly damaged, so we'll try pulling out most of the dents on the roof.
Yep.
That may have to go back to bare metal and then epoxy primed.
Yep.
Quarter panel, that's a big job.
Yeah, that's a big dent, isn't it, in a bad spot?
Yeah, in a bad spot, but everything else is pretty good. We'll just get all the panel beating side of things done, leave it in primer, and then the rest is whatever you guys do.
The rest is up to me. So these guys are doing the hard work. I get the easy, satisfying job, so thanks, mate. I'll see you in a few days.
Awesome.
Rohan and the team are onto it, making light work of the repairs. The quarter panel was pretty badly damaged, so they actually had to fully cut it out and remove it, straighten it out, and then weld it back in and give it a skim coat of bog to fill up all the little blemishes. They also took care of a few holes left from things like the old antenna, snorkel, and some of the weird tech screw holes from some of the wacky things that were on the GU. And while they're at it, they've also gone around and smoothed out all the knocks and dents around the cab. Finally, they mask up the whole thing and prime it, ready for me to throw a fresh coat of Raptor on. Come Monday, it's ready to go. My goodness, did you cab swap this car?
Pretty much, yeah.
Pretty much. the new bonnet's on. There was a snorkel hole here. You fixed that. Those guards are expensive. I couldn't find one, but he's made me one. How good is that? You guys saw how bad this was. Look at it now. Straight as a die. The door gaps are perfect. Yep. I thought this cab was done and you brought it back to life. Yep. And the roof looks good too, obviously. Yeah. We had some solar panels hiding there, but that looks straight as now. You've done well. He's done all the hard work. It's in primer. I'm going to take this thing home now and do a bit of a Raptor coat. Thanks, mate. You've done all the hard work. I get to do the easy job and make it look pretty flash now.
We'll see you next time, mate.
Appreciate it. One thing people don't realise is your paint job is only as good as your prep work. I learned that line from my old man Pedro. That's why he's here making sure we're doing a lot of prep work. But even just simple things like masking, if you don't spend a lot of time masking, it means you're going to spend a lot of time after your paint job cleaning things up. Pedro and myself have done an unreal job of masking up the car, but speaking of prep work, look at the bomb bit. I think it broke it off. Yeah, I think it cooked it. Yeah, look at it.
Windy.
Oh no. In our very technical spray booth here, we've had this panel blow over, and this one, they're known for rust down the bottom. This one's had a patch, and when it fell over, it actually broke the patch off. So lucky we got Pedro on the case. He's gonna race home and weld that up while I use some tie gear straps to actually hold these things down, because it's quite a windy day, which is not really what you want when you're painting, but we've got a tight time schedule, so we're going to make sure we lay down some colour today. A few of important tips here. Bit of wax and grease remover. Now heaps of people just wipe it on with one rag. What you've actually got to do is wipe it on with one rag and then get another rag and wipe it off. Otherwise, if you use one rag, you're just sort of wiping all the muck back over the panel. So on with one, off with the other. After you've wiped everything down with wax and grease, you've got all the bog dust and your sanding dust off. Get a tack cloth, it's kind of in the name, it's super tacky, even sticking in my hand now. Grabs any dirt or dust left on the vehicle, I'll wipe that off, and then we're ready to mix up some paint and surprise you guys with which colour we've chose. Just in time, I've just about finished tack clothing the car over, get it ready for paint, and Pedro's rocked up with the repaired guard. He's only been gone about 10 minutes, and look at this. Brand new, you wouldn't even know. When that fell over and it broke, I was a bit shattered and I said I'll paint it another day. Pedro the madman went home, welded up, we'll give it a quick swipe of bog and we're able to paint all the car on the same day. How good is that? The GU is all ready to paint behind me. It's getting quite exciting. This is the moment I bet all you guys have been waiting for, the color reveal. I'm gonna pop this top and pour a little bit in here, and I reckon not many people would have guessed this color. Have a look at the metallic in here, and it isn't just any old red. This is Orient Red. It's a factory Nissan color. It's actually a Y62 color. As you guys are aware, we're making the ultimate Nissan Ute behind us. You can never get this in a Ute and metallic paint. I reckon that's pretty flash. We've called in the experts, even mixing the paint. I'm getting some pointers here. So we want this thing to look pretty flash. Believe it or not, it's my first time raptoring a whole car. Raptored the back of Daryl. My old man, he's raptored everything. He's raptored whole Unimogs before, so he's the man to have on board when you're raptoring a car. I can't do anything myself.
Who's painting this car?
Putting the hardener in here, and I've shaken up just to make it a bit thinner so it's easier to pour out. Gonna pour it in here, then we're gonna mix it all up. Rightio, that's all mixed in there. I reckon that is looking pretty awesome. I'm keen to see this on the car. All I gotta do is pour it in there and start spraying on the car. I reckon it's gonna look smicko. Have a look at the metallic in this paint. It looks so good in the sun. I'm onto the cab now. It's actually pretty fiddly because there's so short little runs to paint, but I think for my first time painting a car in Raptor, I'm doing quite well. We use Raptor on heaps of our cars, and there's a couple of reasons for that. It's super tough, and it's great if you're doing a DIY job like me in my paddock, because it's actually pretty forgiving compared to normal paint. Well, the conditions were fighting us today. It was super windy and it was super hot. It was drying so quick, but I reckon this turned out pretty good for my first paint job of a complete car. I actually love the color. Look at it there. You can see the metallic in the sun. Look at this door in the shade. It's dried a lot better than I thought when I was spraying, and it looks like a completely different color. So it's actually turned out pretty good. What color would you guys pick? Chuck it in the comments down below. King Chrome are giving away this absolute off-road weapon.
It is so much fun. Whoever wins it's going to be absolutely stoked.
But the best part is this thing comes fully kitted out. It comes with a fridge on the back, comes with an awning, actually comes with a couple of swags to throw on top. You can fit 4 of your mates in there, or you can fit your whole family in there, and just the ultimate adventure rig.
Yeah, they've really kitted it out. It's full, got custom stuff all through it, big tyres, a turbo, everything you need. Now, of course, if you guys are eyeing this off thinking you'd love to go in the draw, it's free to enter. All you need to do is jump on the link or scan the QR code below. and Jesse and I will be drawing the winner at the Melbourne 4x4 show. So come on down, get your entries in, and good luck. We're not allowed to be in the crowd to win it.
I might put one of those disguise ones on to win it. Radiator's back in, she's purring like a kitten. We're a bit of a bleed up. Working front to back. Everything is all nice and black and shiny. This car's fully bolted on. Have a look at this. Gone along and painted all the bolts black. In here, we've got Pat. He's working on the interior. We've blacked out all the interior. Yeah, we're coming together. Trouble with this new floor is, as you can see over there, all the holes you've got to cut. Pat is doing a good job over there. I bet he's regretting camping in my paddock because he was paying for his camping. He's chopping holes. But you can hear the TD purring. We're bleeding up the cooling system. One guard is on. I'm going to continue to put the other one on. I've just painted some more bolts. We'll get there. Look at that. Something pretty cool here. Obviously going to have heaps of space in the tray, but this is the old factory mount for the Jack. I've flattened this mount off. That's not a very big area there. It's, it's about 100 mil where this hump is and pretty useless. Normally you couldn't put anything there, but have a look at this. This Renogy mini core battery fits in there perfect. Chuck a little pull strap over the top, and that is going to be the dual battery setup for this trip. In line with that, use up that wasted space perfectly, and we know it's all pretty tight behind these utes, but have a look at that. Converted the old Jack mount, it's now dual battery setup. Making good progress. It was at this point I accidentally set the GoPro to time lapse. Sorry guys, I'll try to do better next time. You can undertake this job in your backyard. Clear coat, 400 grit sandpaper. Have a look at these headlights. You could mistake them for brand new. Crazy difference a bit of clear coat does. 400 grit sandpaper, clear coat. Can do a couple more coats and save myself a couple $100 there. Hey Tom,
Hey.
what's happening?
Oh, mate, got a couple of gifts for you.
You're fully loaded up. Far out. Stuff in the back, stuff on the roof. Big birthday for the GU.
Yeah, mate. First off the bat, I have some new suspension. This is fresh from testing, and we want some real world testing from you.
Is this the first set out?
The
available?
very first set available.
Yeah, right.
I want you to unwrap it and have a look.
Looks fancy. I can see some EFS green in there.
Oh yeah, got to be green.
Ooh, got adjustment on the bottom there.
Yep, certainly do.
Wow, MXP. So this is like an MRP but without the resi.
Yeah, no
Bit more
resi on this
relatable.
one.
Still
Yeah,
adjustable.
Keep it a little more simple, and rebound adjustment on there still. Yep, definitely.
That's awesome. That's cool. I like it. We're going for a bit of a bush-proof build, so I guess that's less moving parts to meet a break.
Yeah, with still awesome ride, everything else you need in it.
Tom and I get straight to work putting the new shocks in the GU, which I tell you what, I reckon they're going to be perfect for it and a pretty smooth upgrade. Then we get to fitting the mounts for something that I'm actually pretty excited for. It's the first ever GU bull bar from EFS.
Nearly dropped it. We
Nearly.
didn't drop it though.
It's going to get scratched anyway.
Fitting the last few accessories like the lights is actually getting me pretty excited to hit the tracks and see what this GU can actually do.
Just gonna wire them up, connect the winch, wind the winch, put the grill in. Tommy's going home.
First impressions, look at that, my gosh. That'll dressed up with a winch and spotties, and I'll find a number plate somewhere and put that on. And
But it actually looks good.
we've come down from at a pinnacle and it's all hands on deck. I'm gonna chuck some stuff in from Roadrunner underneath for suspension. We've got auto leckies in there, doing some wiring. All this is just to speed it up because we're on a tight time schedule. Steering arms, lower control arms, front hybrid arms. We've got some turret ends, we've got bump stock sections, we've got diff locks. It's all happening. Installing the compressor in here, battery there, 12 volt up the back. Wheels are on, tray is on. It's all happening. We'll check out over some jack stands. Armor's out. We removed this
chassis catching mount off there. These are the new Roadrunner arms, as you can see, much thicker, and they're also a bit longer to allow for the lift, push the diff back and do a bit of correction. These are the new uppers. Now they're adjustable. What that does is, you can see this one here is a lot shorter. You can wind them in and out to adjust your pinion angle. So we've put longer lowers in, and that's corrected most of it, but we're just going to fine tune it with the uppers. And obviously, easiest way to look on a Patrol is you want the bump stop pad pretty much flat. Before it was rocked back. Now we've pushed the diff back, it's pretty much flat. So we'll adjust these to sit. We want the pinion on the same angle as the back of the transfer case drive flange, so you get some good drive. So we'll whack them in loose and check the angles later. Some more mods from Roadrunner. So this is the standard bump stop. This is something that's often overlooked when people lift cars. They put a longer shock in and don't extend the bump stop to suit. Then the shock becomes the bump stop and gets damaged. So what we're doing here is actually extending the bump stops. Have a look at the difference here in height. The difference there in height is massive. So this will suit the longer shock and also stop the big tyres hitting up in here on the tray. Get them in.
And before long, this Barnyard GU is fully kitted out. And it's ready for its first trip, the Victorian High Country.
This is the Barnfine GU, just looks a little bit different. This is its first test. I didn't actually think it was going to be 4 days trudging through the snow. So far it's been pretty tough, but the GU has been going strong. If it survived these 3 days, I'll tell you what, I'll give it another test down in Tassie. You're probably wondering what this bar is on this car. It's actually a prototype bar. This is the first bar of its kind, and it's an EFS bar. I reckon it suits the car pretty well. It looks pretty angry with all these sharp edges, but it also looks modern with the hoops out the side, and they're nice and thick too. It's pretty strong. Another thing I really like is these EFS fog lights down here. These DRLs obviously look super cool and they match the Vivimax bodies, but they are so bright. We've done a heap of night driving in the snow, and they really help me see my way. Another thing that I've tried and tested before from EFS is their Recon winches. I've jammed one in there behind the bar, 10,000 pounder, so I get a good bit of line speed. I've tested that thing. I've only been on this trip for 2 days. I've used that so much, and it's got me out of trouble every single time. I'm keen to test this out in Tassie. EFS has trusted me to try this bar and go back to them and say what I want changed. But honestly, looking at it, I don't think there's anything you would change. I reckon it looks unreal. One thing that I reckon finished the GU off perfectly is this flash shiny set of CSA wheels. I've gone with these CSA kinetic wheels. They're 17x9 neg 12. Now not only do they look good, they're actually load rated to suit my GVM upgrade, and they now come in negative offsets. What that means is the wheel will stick out a little bit further and hopefully keep these shiny GU panels off the bank. I wrapped a set of Radar Renegade RTs around their CSA wheels, and I tell you what, these things are more on the affordable side, so they're great for your wallet if you're doing a big build, but so far they are super impressive for an RT tyre. They're quiet and they drive unreal on the road, but in the snow and mud where it's been super slippery, I haven't really noticed a difference from MT tyre. These things are nice and soft and they'll be gripping up unreal. The back of the GU is looking a hell of a lot flasher than it was before we did the rebuild. I had that manky old alloy tray in it. Now, I did want to stay alloy and keep it pretty light, but I wanted to make it custom, and it was hard to try and find someone that would do custom. I went and spoke to the boys at Dun & Watson, and custom is their middle name down there. So we worked out a tray length that wasn't going to be too long. I actually come down here, it actually lines it with a tow bar perfectly, so it doesn't really hinder my departure angle at all. So it means I'm going to be able to carry heaps of stuff when I go on a big trip. A few things I really love about the Dun & Watson boys is they sit down with you and they let you draw it up on the computer, and you can change things and customize things. That is hard to find these days. Just little 5%ers like this inside this box here. They put a shelf in there so you can put things up the top, things down the bottom. It just makes your life so much easier. There's nothing worse than opening the box and all your stuff falling out. Up in the headboard here, we've got a water tank. In every Dun & Watson tray, there's a 26 litre water tank in there that gravity feeds down to the bottom. Now, normally you can fit 80 litres under these, but because of my big sub tank, we can only fit 50. So I've got 26 up here and 50 down there, all connected to a water pump that goes down the back. I've never had that much water on board in my life, so I'm really spoiled. I normally just carry a jerry can around, so that is pretty cool. The good part about all this too is if I ever do change something, it's all uni-strut mounted. I can move the guards in and out, forward and back, and things like that. Have a look at this trundle jaw. It's actually got latches here, and so if you're trying to use this as a table, cook some lunch and you're on a hill, it's not going to slide in, which is unreal. All these slides here are rated at 125 kilograms, so you can fit a lot of stuff in there and not have to worry that they're going to stuff out. Have a look at this. The first time I saw this, I was pretty stoked, and I hope you're stoked as I was. Look at that. I bet you've never seen that before. I've never seen it before, and I think the idea is genius. It's just a perfect use of space. You know, you're parked on a hill, you open your door, all your stuff falls out.
Nothing can fall out here, and you can use all the space because once you open it, you can dig down and find what you need. Now inside the ute, it's not completely finished. You can see we started painting everything black here, the roof lining's black, and we did have a Series 4 dash to put in. We just ran out of time before this trip. It's probably not the end of the world because it would have got trashed in Tassie. But once that's completed with the Series 4 interior, that's what I'm going to call the Nissan that you should have been able to buy from the factory. TD42, coil cab, Series 4 front, Series 4 interior that you could never get in a ute. Under the seat here, I've used a Scrub King mount to mount the compressor. It's a perfect use of wasted space.
There's heaps of different mounts available depending on what car you got, and the thing that I really like about these mounts is they all pick up factory bolt holes, so there's no cutting or drilling in your pride and joy.
But to Tassie proof it, we've actually run the breathers with the compressor and the solenoids up nice and high because there's a fair chance this ute is going to get some water in it. I reckon that this setup I've got in here could be the best bang for buck lithium setup you could ever buy, and it's super slimline too. Behind here I've got a battery behind the seat, and I can put the seat all the way back, not that I need to because I'm pretty short. It fits perfectly where the factory jack went. I've got a 40 amp charger there with a solar input, so once I do put a canopy on the top, I'll put a solar panel on, 100 amps of lithium. That's probably more than I'm ever going to need. This trip, it's running my compressor, my fridge, and my camp lights, and it's not even struggling, to tell you the truth. And it all fits behind the seat, super neat. Took it down to my mates at Pinnacle, and they did all this work on the inside, and I tell you what, it is smicko. Probably a good thing they did it, because if I did it, we might have some smoke coming out from inside the cab. There you have it. It's quite the transformation, I reckon, and one thing I really like is it's all Nissan parts, best of the Nissan. That's what I'm going to say, and it's definitely going to get a bit of a workout, and this first two trips being Victoria High Country in the snow, and then Tassie, we're going to do a fair bit of mud bogging. What do you guys reckon? Chuck in the comments below if you like what I've done, or if there's anything that you would have done differently. I'm super keen. I'll read all the comments, but anyway, for now, I'm frothing being in the snow. I'm going to go make a snowman with Jocko. I'll see you next time.